resonates with your heart and release anything that isn't meant for you. All right, Sagittarius, let's get into your reading.
So, the message that I have for you today is this. Someone is sitting in the wreckage of choices they made, and the regret is eating them alive. They are not okay, and the cards are making that painfully clear from the very first pull today. This person made decisions that cost them something truly priceless, and that something was always you. Let us go deeper into this because what is coming through carries a heaviness I cannot ignore. The tears are real, and they fall when nobody is around to see how broken they truly feel. They replay moments in their head constantly, wishing they could undo what they did and start over. If they could turn back time and face you again, they would choose so differently, without hesitation. Choices that pulled them from you sit like stones in their chest, and that weight never lifts. Their regret is not surface guilt. It is the kind that changes how someone sleeps at night. The first card I have for you is the Five of Cups, confirming devastation at its rawest form. The Five of Cups shows someone standing over everything they lost, unable to look at what remains. They fixate on the damage they caused, and that fixation has become a prison they cannot escape. This card tells me they mourn you the way people mourn something sacred, with silence and with shame. The Five of Cups reveals that their grief is constant, not something that visits, but something that stays. They wake up carrying it, and they fall asleep still holding it, and no distraction takes it away. What haunts them most is knowing they had everything, and their own choices are what destroyed it. The Five of Cups also shows me they have not moved on, no matter what the outside shows. Other people may see someone functioning, but inside there is a collapse that never fully got repaired. They stand in the middle of their own destruction, and the only name on their lips is yours. This card confirms they spilled something irreplaceable, and they feel that loss in their bones every day. The Five of Cups will not let them forget, and every quiet moment reflects what they lost. Their pain is not a phase, and the Five of Cups makes that undeniably clear in this reading. Every cup that tipped over represents a moment they wish they honored, a chance they wish they took. Now we have the Tower, and this card shows the complete collapse that followed their decision to leave. The Tower tells me everything they built without you came crashing down, and nothing survived that fall. Whatever they chose over this connection failed them completely, leaving nothing but smoke and empty hands. The Tower reveals life taught them a brutal lesson, and that lesson had your name written on it. They thought they could walk away and rebuild somewhere else, but the foundation cracked without you. Plans they made apart from you fell apart fast, and the Tower says that collapse was not coincidence. The universe stripped away every false comfort, leaving them standing alone with nothing but the truth. The universe removed what was not meant to stand, and what remained was the truth about you. The tower confirms they hit a bottom that shook them into clarity, and that clarity burns every day. They cannot unsee what they learned about themselves, and the biggest truth is that they need you. Everything false had to fall so they could see what was real. And what was real was this. Then we have the Knight of Pentacles, showing how their energy has shifted since that collapse hit them. The Knight of Pentacles tells me they are no longer reckless. Something broke the old pattern completely. They move slowly now, with intention, because they learned what carelessness actually costs a person. This card shows someone who would do anything to prove they changed, even if it takes forever. The Knight of Pentacles reveals a steadiness born from pain, a patience that only deep regret can teach. They are not the same person who made those choices, and the cards want you to see that. What sits in them now is quiet determination, a deep need to earn back what they destroyed completely. Every card here confirms one truth. Their choices cost them everything, and you are all they want. The tears are real, the regret runs deep, and the prayer on their heart carries only your name. So now let us turn this around and talk about where you stand in all of this. You carry scars from what happened, and those scars did not heal just because time kept moving forward. The damage changed how you trust and how you love, reshaping the way you protect yourself entirely. You did not ask for any of this, and that truth still burns when you sit with it. Part of you hardened after what they did, and that hardness was not cruelty, but pure survival instinct. You built new walls because the old ones got torn down by someone who promised they never would. Anger still surfaces on certain nights, rising from a place you thought was buried a long time ago. Your heart remembers every detail of what broke it, even parts your mind tried to forget. The first card is the Seven of Swords, and it mirrors the betrayal still sitting in your chest. The Seven of Swords tells me you felt deceived, like something was taken from you without your permission. Trust was stolen quietly, and by the time you realized what happened, the damage was already done completely. This card confirms you carry a wound tied to dishonesty, one that made you question your own judgment. The Seven of Swords shows me you blame yourself sometimes, wondering how you missed the signs back then. You replay old conversations looking for the moment it shifted, searching for the crack you should have seen. That self-blame is heavy, and it sits on your shoulders alongside the grief you never fully processed. The Seven of Swords also tells me you became more guarded after this, watching people closer than before. You test loyalty in small, quiet ways now, measuring who stays and who proves themselves over real time. The version of you that trusted freely no longer exists, and part of you mourns that person. Now we have Strength, and this card reveals the incredible resilience you built from everything that broke. Strength tells me you survived something that would have destroyed most people, and you did it quietly. You did not collapse publicly. You held yourself together with a grace nobody fully saw. This card shows a fire inside you that refused to die, even when everything around it went dark. Strength confirms you are tougher than you give yourself credit for, and that toughness saved your life. But underneath that toughness lives a tiredness you rarely show, a fatigue from always being the strong one. You want permission to not be okay, to set the weight down without someone calling you weak. Strength also tells me you channeled your pain into growth, transforming what hurt you into something useful. You became wiser about who gets access to your heart, and that filter protects you every day. You stopped handing yourself to people who had not earned the privilege, and that boundary saved you. The quiet power you carry was forged in fire, and nobody can ever take that from you. Your resilience is not performance. It is proof that you chose yourself when nobody else was choosing you. Strength reminds you that surviving was the hardest part, and you already did that without anyone helping. Then we have the Two of Pentacles, showing the emotional balancing act you perform almost every single day. The Two of Pentacles tells me you juggle pain and healing, shifting between them constantly. Some days you feel strong and certain, and other days the weight pulls you right back down. You balance between wanting to forgive and wanting to protect yourself, and both sides fight inside you. The Two of Pentacles shows me you are exhausted from managing these two realities at the same time. One part of you still cares deeply, and another part resents that you care at all after everything. You hold both truths in your hands, and the juggling act takes more energy than anyone sees. The Two of Pentacles reveals you are searching for solid ground, a place where you finally feel settled. You want clarity more than anything, a clean answer about what to feel and where to land. This card tells me you are closer to clarity than you think, even if today it feels far. Everything in your pull confirms one thing. You carried this longer than anyone ever should. You deserve rest from this weight, and the cards see how hard you fought to stay standing. Now, let us go into their side of this and look at what is really happening inside them. They live in a version of life that feels like punishment, and they know they earned it. The weight of what they did follows them into every room, every silence, and every quiet moment alone. They do not talk about it because shame locks the words, and that silence is destroying them. They swallow their pain around others, saving the collapse for moments when they are completely alone. Their days feel hollow even when they are surrounded by people, because the one person missing is you. They function on the outside just enough to survive, but inside there is a collapse that never stops. Guilt rewired their entire emotional system, and now everything feels filtered through what they lost. They cannot enjoy simple things anymore because joy itself reminds them of what they broke. The first card is the Hermit, and it shows the deep isolation they retreated into after losing you. The Hermit tells me they pulled away from everyone, not just you, but from life itself, completely. They sit alone with their regret more than anyone realizes, replaying every mistake in painful detail. This card shows someone who chose solitude because facing people means pretending they are fine. The Hermit reveals they use isolation as both punishment and protection, hiding from a world that moved on. They feel stuck in a version of the past nobody remembers, frozen in the moment everything broke. Late nights are the worst for them because darkness removes every distraction and leaves only the truth. The Hermit also tells me they have been doing deep internal work, even if nobody sees it happening. They sit with their mistakes honestly now, no longer running or making excuses for what they did. Something cracked open inside them during that isolation, and what poured out was raw, unfiltered honesty. They finally see themselves clearly, and that clarity is the most painful gift they have ever received. We also have the Three of Swords, confirming the heartbreak they carry is constant and real. The Three of Swords shows three wounds in their chest, and each one has your name on it. Losing you is the first wound. Knowing it was their fault is second. And the third is shame. They carry all three at once, and the combined weight makes it hard to breathe on most days. The Three of Swords tells me they cry more than anyone knows, behind closed doors where nobody sees. Their grief is not for show, and this card confirms it lives where no surface healing can reach. They punish themselves daily in small, invisible ways, denying themselves joy because they feel undeserving. The Three of Swords reveals their heart has not mended, it just learned to bleed more quietly. They compare every person to you and find everyone lacking because you were the standard they destroyed. Remorse sits in their stomach like something permanent, and no amount of distraction dissolves what they feel. Then we have the King of Cups, showing who they are becoming underneath all that grief and regret. The King of Cups tells me pain is reshaping them, forging someone more emotionally mature and aware. They are learning to sit with discomfort instead of running, a skill they never had before losing you. This card shows emotional depth forming where shallowness used to live, carved out by consequence and loss. The King of Cups shows they feel it all now. Every emotion they once avoided hits them fully. The King of Cups reveals they finally understand what love actually costs because they paid the highest price. They no longer treat emotions as something to manage. They feel everything fully now without numbing it. Their capacity for love deepened through suffering, and that depth exists because of what they lost in you. The King of Cups tells me they pray, and that prayer is not casual, but desperate and real. Your name is the only word that rises when they ask for something beyond themselves. It never changes. They kneel inside their regret, and the only light they reach for in that darkness has your face. Every card on their side paints one picture. They are broken and transform. Okay, now let us look at what is actually moving and what steps are being taken right now. Things are not staying still anymore, and the cards show clear movement heading in your direction. A shift already began,
And even if you missed it, the wheels are turning behind the scenes. They are preparing to reach out. And this time it is not impulse, but something deliberate and planned. A message or a gesture is being crafted carefully because they know one wrong move could end everything. They are gathering courage slowly, building toward a moment that will require everything they have inside. The timeline here is not distant, and the cards say this action lands closer than you might expect. Something concrete is forming, not just thoughts or intentions, but an actual step toward you, finally. Their approach this time carries weight because they understand what carelessness cost them the first time. Every step they plan now is measured twice because they refuse to make the same mistake ever again. The first card is the Six of Wands, showing a turning point arriving through a bold, visible move. The Six of Wands tells me they are about to step forward publicly, no longer hiding anything. This card confirms an action that others will notice, something visible that makes their intention undeniable. The Six of Wands shows someone ready to fight for what they lost, openly and without any apology. They are done with silence. And this card says the next move they make will be their loudest. A declaration is coming, whether through words or through a gesture that leaves absolutely no room for doubt. The Six of Wands says they accepted the risk, knowing that reaching out could end in rejection. They would rather face rejection than spend another day wondering what would have happened if they tried. This card also shows momentum building around reconciliation, with the universe clearing a path toward you. Obstacles that blocked reconnection before are falling away, and the timing is aligning for something real. The path between you is clearing fast. And what blocked it before no longer holds any power. The Six of Wands confirms they will not approach halfway. This time it is full commitment or nothing. Watch for a shift in how they show up, because the change will be visible and undeniable. Their next move is not a test. It is a genuine surrender aimed directly at earning you back. Plans are already in motion, and this card says they land within a matter of weeks. Then we have Judgment, and this card confirms a major reckoning that is pushing everything toward resolution. Judgment tells me a wake up call already happened, and the action following it cannot be stopped. This card shows the kind of clarity that demands movement, where staying still is no longer an option. Judgment confirms they are answering a call that is bigger than pride, bigger than fear, bigger than ego. Something in them finally broke through the hesitation, and what comes next is direct and irreversible action. Judgment shows me a conversation forming that will address everything, not pieces, but the full, honest truth. They are preparing to lay it all out, holding nothing back because half measures will not work. The timing around this conversation is important and the cards say it arrives when you least expect it. Judgment also reveals that this reconnection attempt carries spiritual weight, like it was always meant to happen. The universe is pushing both of you toward a reckoning, and that reckoning starts with one brave step. Judgment confirms old cycles are closing, and what replaces them is a new chapter built on earned honesty. Doors that closed are being reopened, and the energy around this reopening feels final and permanent. A decision was already made on their end, and the follow through is what you see very soon. Expect something undeniable, whether it arrives as a call or a visit or a message that changes everything. Both cards point to the same conclusion. Action is no longer being planned, it is already being taken. The movement here is the strongest pull in the entire reading, and it all points toward you. What was frozen is thawing fast, and the cards confirm this connection enters a brand new chapter. They are coming, and the steps they take will be louder than anything their silence ever said. So let us go into the confessions they will never say out loud unless the walls come down. They carry words meant only for you, sentences they rehearsed 1,000 times but never delivered. If you heard what runs through their mind at night, it would break and heal you at once. The confessions here are heavy, and the cards pull them from a place that rarely gets opened. They confess they knew they were wrong before they even finished the choice that destroyed this. Part of them watched it happen in slow motion, screaming inside while their actions moved the wrong way. Their deepest shame is not just what they did, but that they saw it coming and did nothing. They whisper your name when alone, and it comes out sounding like an apology every single time. They confess that your absence rewrote their definition of loneliness, turning it into something they feel permanently. If they could sit across from you today, the first word from their mouth would be sorry. The first card is the High Priestess, and she unlocks confessions buried in the deepest part of them. The High Priestess tells me they carry secrets about you, ones that nobody else will ever know. They hold memories of you in a sacred place inside, one they refuse to let anyone else touch. Their confession is that they knew you were the one, and they walked away from that knowing deliberately. The High Priestess shows me they dream about you, not casually, but in vivid detail that haunts. They wake reaching for you in empty sheets, and that split second of forgetting is the cruelest part. Their hidden truth is that nobody since you has made them feel safe, and that absence echoes constantly. The High Priestess reveals they kept things of yours, holding them like evidence of what was real. A shirt, a photo, a message saved from years ago. They guard these things like they are holy. They confess they drive past places that remind them of you, just to feel close one more time. Their secret is that they romanticize nothing else, only you and only what you shared together.
They confessed the version of them you loved was truest, and losing you meant losing that, too. The high priestess tells me they talk to you in their head, full conversations you will never hear. They rehearse what they would say if given the chance, editing their words over and over, endlessly. Then we have the Nine of Swords, revealing confessions that live in their darkest, most honest hours. The Nine of Swords tells me they do not sleep, and the reason they cannot rest is you. Every hour after midnight belongs to you in their mind, and they spend it remembering what they ruined. They lie awake, replaying the moment everything fell apart, torturing themselves with what they should have said. They rewrite the ending every night, choosing you over and over in a world that no longer exists. Their confession is that the guilt never leaves, it just waits for nighttime to get louder. The Nine of Swords shows me anxiety eating at them, a constant fear that they arrived too late. They worry you already moved on, and that thought alone is enough to collapse them from the inside. Their hidden fear is that you found someone better, who gave what they were too afraid to offer. The Nine of Swords reveals they punish themselves with memories, replaying your laugh and your voice on repeat. They confess that no achievement fills the space you left, and every success feels hollow without you. They would trade everything built since they walked away for one honest conversation across from you. Their unspoken prayer is simple, that you have not forgotten them the way they deserve to be. The Nine of Swords tells me they fear your indifference more than anger, because anger means you care. They would rather you scream than look through them, because silence from you is the worst wound. Their confession is simple and painful. Your happiness without them is a truth they cannot face, ever. Every confession in this section carries the same weight. They lost the only thing that ever truly mattered. Their tears fall in rooms nobody sees, and those tears carry a prayer that only your name answers. The cost of their choices sits heavy each night, and the only relief they imagine is you. Now, let us close this reading and look at what the near future is bringing toward you. What comes next is not more waiting. It is a turning point you will feel deeply. The energy ahead carries resolution, and the cards say this chapter is approaching its defining moment. The first card is the World, pointing to a cycle that is completing in your favor. The World tells me closure is arriving, not the kind that ends, but the kind that transforms everything. A full circle moment is forming, where everything that broke apart begins reassembling with new intention. The world confirms what was lost is preparing to return, but in a form that is wiser. In the coming weeks, you will feel the shift land, and nothing will feel the same after. We also have the Ace of Wands, and this card brings the spark of a completely fresh beginning. The Ace of Wands tells me new energy is entering this connection, raw and passionate and undeniable. This card confirms that a bold first move ignites everything. and that move is closer than you think. The Ace of Wands shows a door opening that was sealed, and what walks through changes everything. Trust that what arrives next carries weight. Everything both of you learned through this separation. The universe is not recycling old patterns. It is building something new from the ashes of what broke. What rises from this will carry the lessons of everything that fell, and that foundation is stronger now. Here is my advice as we close, and I need you to hold these words carefully. Do not reopen the door from loneliness. Only open it if the version standing there earned it. Your forgiveness is sacred, and it should only be given to someone who understands what it costs you. Guard your healing fiercely, because what you rebuilt from the ruins belongs to you and nobody else. If they return, let their actions speak louder than their words, because words alone are not enough. You deserve someone who stays without being asked, and the cards want you to hold that standard always. Your peace is the most valuable thing you own, and whoever enters next must honor that fully. Now, let me bring back the message, the one that ran through every single part of this reading. The message was clear. Someone is drowning in the cost of losing you, and you are everything. Their regret is not casual, and the cards showed a devastation that reshaped their entire inner world. Your side was honored too, showing the scars you carry and the incredible strength you built from pain. Their inner world was revealed as broken and transforming, shaped by isolation and deep, honest reckoning. Movement showed up powerfully, with momentum and action building toward a reconnection that feels inevitable. Their confessions were raw, revealing a love that never left and a guilt that never rests, even now. Now, let me walk through every card today, because each one told part of this story. Five of Cups, the Tower, and Knight of Pentacles opened with devastation and the slow return of intention. Seven of Swords, Strength, and Two of Pentacles showed your wounds and the fire that kept you standing. The Hermit, Three of Swords, and King of Cups revealed their isolation and the depth of their grief. Six of Wands and Judgment brought bold action, showing a reckoning that demands movement toward you now. The High Priestess and Nine of Swords uncovered confessions, the sleepless nights, and the prayers said alone. The World and Ace of Wands confirmed what comes next, a cycle closing and a new beginning rising. 15 cards came through today, and every single one confirmed that this connection still holds real weight. Carry this reading with you and let it sit wherever your heart feels ready to receive. You are not forgotten, and the tears shed for you carry more truth than words ever could.